there, and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I am so glad you joined me today in my kitchen. That's right, I've got my apron on, I'm busy excited because today we are talking cheesecake. I'm excited. Now this recipe that I'm making for you today is out of the fabulous book 5, and it's this one here, the baked fruit salad cheesecake. I want you to get pen and paper out because there has been some changes to this recipe. Not my fault, but companies are discontinuing products, changing sizes, so we're going to go into that through the recipe. So just have pen and paper ready, but we will do the full recipe later if you need it on the feed, and I'll tell you also how you can get it. Okay, so let's talk about last week because we have 3 very excited ladies who the book from last week, which is book 6, which is the fabulous one, and we made the chicken basil stir fry, which was delicious. Okay, Narelle Withall was very pleased with the book. Vicky Jones as well as Debbie Richards. Winners, the chicken dinner. That's right, you can cook your own chicken basil now. So let's go over this recipe. It's the baked cheesecake, remember, out of book 5, and you'll need 2 teaspoons of melted flora margarine, the light margarine. I've just done that now. You've got 12 of the shredded wheat. You have a tablespoon of skim milk. Now this is where things start to change because, believe it or not, but you can't get 250 tons of cottage cheese anymore. What? So instead of buying 500 and you have to make it twice, I'm changing the recipe, so you now use a 200 gram tub of the low-fat. Write that down. It's 200 grams of cottage cheese. And they've discontinued the extra light Philly cream cheese that's the spreadable. Yeah, around. Thank you, Philadelphia. But what we're doing now is we're replacing it with the Philadelphia light spreadable. So it means the fat count's gone a little higher, but it's still really low anyway. So it's the spreadable cream cheese and it's the light, but it used to be in a 220 tub. Now it's in a 250. So change. You've also got the skim milk, condensed milk. Now they used to have a 25% reduced sugar one. That's been discontinued. Oh my gosh. And so what you're doing now is just using this one, which says the skim, and it's 99% fat-free. So that's fantastic. You're also going to use some the Golden Circle traditional fruit salad. Now, I've also found that this isn't in all the supermarkets anymore. What's wrong with you, Coles and Woolworths? IGA carry it. You might find in some supermarkets, but the traditional one is the one I like to use in the recipe, and I'm going to tell you later how you can change it if you can't get the traditional. Say you don't have IGA in your area, for you. So you need a can for 40 grams. So you can see why you need pen and paper, people. Crazy. All right, so let's make the base first. This is where you need your food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could just put them in a bag and crush them all up with a rolling pin or whatever. And if you have a stick blender, you could still use that to blend everything. But I'm lucky enough that I've got my fabulous double-bowled Breville, I know. So I have got 2 bowls in here, you can see. So I've got the smaller bowl. So I'm going to start with the biscuits first. Now seriously, baked fruit salad cheesecake traditionally would have to be like 25 to 50 grams of fat for cheesecake. My way, with the new recipe even, just 5 grams. So yeah, 5 grams of fat for a slice. So we're going to just zhuzh them up, just till they become a crumb. And while that's going, I'm going to spray my pie plate. Ooh. Alrighty, that's looking fantastic. So now what we're going to do is margarine, yes. Put that in, put the skim milk in, which was a tablespoon, and in it goes. That's it. Let's put them in the soapy sink. and you just zhuzh it. Honestly, so easy. This is all you're going to use basically to make it. Perfect. All right, so now what we do is put that there. Carefully take your blade out. Always scared about blades. I'm going to put that over in the sink. I'm not going to put it in the water because I don't want to rise in there. And now what you do is you put the crumbs on the base of a 3 centimetre pie plate. That's right. Now, the trick here with my cheesecake is I don't go up the side because I'm talking healthy cheesecake here. So I just push it out and do it on the... Now, what I use actually is I just get a little pressure thing and I go along and flatten it. You want to flatten the biscuits, the crumbs. You don't want them loose. You want them down. And I find it works really well just having it on the bottom. And that means you're using less biscuits, less margarine, and that's called safe calories. Exactly. Now this is what I call guilt-free living, people. I know, 5 grams of fat. The traditional recipe before was 3.3, and the only reason that it's gone up to is because of the original recipe, I mean, is because of the going to the light cream cheese, not the extra light. So that's what's happened there. All right, so that's fabulous. There's my biscuit base done. And I'm just going to pass it to my fabulous hubby. There you go, Billy. In the fridge it goes while we're creating. Now I'm just going to, little crumbs at the bottom, I'm just going to wash this out and we're going to reuse it to make the filling. So let me just rinse and then wash that. Give it a little wipe out. And we're good to go. The next part, so now I'm going to put my bigger blade in. So if you've got just the one, you'll just give everything a good wash because you don't want the crumbs to go in the filling. All right, so now all we have to do is filling, which is even easier than making the biscuits. Can you believe it? I know. Can it be easier? So what we do is put in the cottage cheese. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I look at that and it looks like baby chuck. Let's be real. I am not a cottage cheese fan. I accidentally discovered how fabulous it is when you blend it up. I was in book 3 and I was trying to make cheesecake, and I went, you know what, I don't want the lumpy bits of the cottage cheese in. So I blended it up. Fabulous. I mean, if you've not made my raspberry cheesecake, oh my gosh, just set. You don't have to bake it. So now you just blend it up. You can see I'm working very hard here. Once that's blended, put that in the bin. Pause it. And let's put in the cream cheese. Now remember, this has gone up from 220 to 2. But that's all you can buy now. So, I mean, it is what it is, hey. I mean, they keep doing this to me all the time. It's constant. I don't know, I mean, these supermarkets and companies, and I'm interested that they lower the things like fruit. What is it? Fromage yogurt has gone from 175 now. Diane did this. It's now 160 grams. And is the yogurt cheaper? No, you're just getting less of it. Thanks, companies. Right, blending. Now we're going to do a cup. In that goes, oh, I know I'm working very hard today. And what you do as well is when you're going in, always just give it a good scrape down because you want all of it to be blended together. And I've got my oven preheated to 150. It's a slow oven, okay? We want it to be slowly cooked, because if you find your cheesecakes are cracking, because that can be actually addition to cheesecakes, it could be the mixture, but it also could be that your oven is too hot. Alrighty, so blend that. And I know! How simple is that? Woohoo! So now I'm just going to get the blade out. I've had this blender forever. I hope they still make it, because it's just lasts, you know, the Breville stuff lasts. I mean, I'm not paid by Breville, by the way. That blade goes on the side. Okay, now what we do is we actually take out the mix and pour it into the bowl. Look at that beautiful creamy mix. I know that when I was 100 kilos, I did like my cheesecake, and it certainly wasn't low-fat cheesecake, but you'll find I have lots of cheesecakes in the books, because if you're like me, it's nice to have it. Like I made this for my son-in-law's birthday barbecue, and it was the dessert, and everyone just loved it. But I loved it too, because it didn't take me any effort at all. So the last thing we have to do is put in the fruit salad with, okay, remember it says it in the recipe, with the juice, and you just combine it. But I want to show you how to change it around. So let's review the recipe. Remember, the shredded wheat meal, thank you, Annette, the Floralite margarine and the milk and the cooking spray was the base. Now in the filling, remember, we had to change it. So the cottage cheese is 200, not 250. The cream cheese is now the light spreadable cream cheese in the tub, and it's now 250, not 220. And now with the fruit salad, if you have a look at it, can you get that on your camera, Bill? So see how it's all broken up? So it's the crushed pineapple, peaches, and lots of different other things. So this is what I really love in this recipe, because it has a beautiful flavour. So that's it there, but see how it is? It's not big chunks, it's just sort of mixed up a bit. So if you can't get this one, let me give you a solution. So what you do is, I found this works, SPC fruit salad. Now if you're looking for a fruit salad, make sure it's got pineapple in it, okay? So that's the thing, because it's not peaches and pears. You want the pineapple in it as well. And it's in the juice. And I found these little tubs equal a little tiny bit more than what that is, but I put it in my blender, zhuzhed it for maybe 20-30 seconds, and it all came like that, and it was perfect. So that's what you can use. I'll leave that there so you can see it. So I'm sorry that these people are changing the recipe on me. Are making sure we still get to enjoy this fabulous recipe, okay? So just mix that in. And all we have to do now is pour it over the base. It's in the oven. Remember, this is the baked fruit salad cheesecake out of 5. Thank you, Billy. Oh, you're amazing. All right, so here we go. Now it looks quite runny, but it's baked, okay? And if you think the crumbs are a bit crummy, don't worry, because the juices and the moisture goes into it when it's baked. So if it looks a little bit crumbly, don't worry about it, because it will work. So it's, remember, a 23 centimetre pie plate. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Here we are. Now, it's in the oven. Let me just open the door. There we go. I don't think there is an easier recipe for cheesecake. There, 30 minutes. It goes in on the 150 degrees, and what you'll know if it's right, because everyone's ovens are different, is gently touch the center of the cheesecake. If it's not firm, then give it another 5. Alrighty. Now, if you want the new updated recipe, you can email us at admin@simplytoogood.com.au. Diane's going to put a link in down there as well, so that you'll get the proper recipe with the nutritional breakdown and everything. But hopefully you wrote it down. If you'd like to win book 5, then I can tell you how to do it. You just like, share, hashtag Simply Too Good. Hashtag Simply Too Good. Now, if you put that in the comments, then I'll pick 3 fabulous people to win book 5. So look, let me show you. Here is my cheesecake ready. Who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Now the new version, it's 5 grams of fat. I'm prepared to enjoy that. Now, I'll give you a little tip as well. If you do like to add something to your cheesecake, this is what I would do. I'd use this light whipped cream. You shake it up, spurt it on. It's really quiet. It's very aerated, and so that's an alternate for you if you're looking for a healthy addition to your cheesecake. So I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Next week, oh my God, it's all about fabulous food, like cheesecake this week. Next week, we're talking pizzas. Oh yes, I'm going there. Sweet and savoury. I'm making 2 pizzas for you, homemade. You will just love them, and they're guilt-free, just like this gorgeous cheesecake today. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.